welcome back to Saturday Craft, and we are doing the final parts of the Strawberry Panda tonight. After we finished the other day, if you remember, I had this really big knot of this yarn, so I figured that out. But I also remembered we forgot to do the tail for the panda. We need to put a tail on him to stop him tipping over. I mean, he doesn't at the moment, but he may in the future, and pandas have tails, so we'll quickly do that. All it is just basically a foot. So we're just doing a slip knot. And then, if you remember with chenille, we don't usually do magic circles because the chenille breaks. So I'm going to do 4 little chains. And then connect them. Oh, lose the lot. Try that again. 4 little chains. And then chain 1. I know it's very hard to see with the white, but I'm trying. And then we're going to chain 6 into here. 1, 2, 3. Pull some more string out before it drives me nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I am going to make this a little bit bigger because we want to flatten it. So we'll do another row of increases. So that is 2 in each one. So if I get it right, let me see if I've got a stitch marker to mark this one. To mark the first one, because it's very hard to see with the fluffy. So that's 1, 2 in each one, which would make 12 if I don't lose any. So that's 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. I am working over the tail, just in case you're wondering. 9 and 10. I can just see where the stitches go. And 11 and 12. Right, so that's all the increases I want to do for this. And so now we just go up. And I'm not going to go up much because it's only a little tail. So maybe 3 rows. So if I take that off. And then, now what I'm going to do, because I'm working in a spiral, and I don't want to have to keep moving my stitch marker, I'm going to put it into the side of the stitch. That way I know when I'm passing it that it's not having to come out all the time. So keep going over the tail, and then your piece should be starting to cup now because we're not adding any more increases. So we just tilt it over like that, pull some more string out. I've got a lot left of this yarn. This is a 100-gram ball, and we've made the panda, and I've still got heaps left, so probably get something else out of it later on. Alright, just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Push your finger into it to cup it around, because we want a round tail, not a square tail. And if you miss one here, doesn't really matter because we're actually not going to put any stuffing in this because it's just a piece, if you know what I mean. It's not a appendage. More like an ear. We didn't put any stuffing in the ear. So we've been past the stitch marker once, coming up on our second one. No, I am not counting. I'm just seeing where the faint little circles are of where the stitches. They've got like little dimples. Probably would be easier to see in a different colour, but you know, it is what it is. All right, going past for the third time. So when I get back to here again, the tail should be done. Because if you've ever seen a panda, they have fat little tails. All right. Round and around and around. And then once this is done, I just want to make him a little collar. And he's all finished. Whole lot. For those who missed the beginning of making the panda, it was when I was streaming on Twitch. And I realise those are no longer available, but at least you were able to see how to finish off the bear. Alright, so we're back there. That's our little tail. So we can go like this, squish it together so it's flattened. And then we're going through the stitch in front and the stitch at the back. We're going to sew across, well, crochet across. So under that stitch and the corresponding one at the back. You should have 6 stitches. And one more, and then maybe one on the end. And no, we'll just go like that. We will cut off, we'll give ourselves a reasonable tail. Pull that through, and there's our little tail with the tail. Now these stitch markers, if you see that, these ones are really good for amigurumi because they don't distort your stitch. You can get them, they're also good for doily making because they're so thin. You can also use, these sometimes come on business shirts on the collars. If you collect them, if you have to get a business shirt, they work really good. So here's our little tail, little squish tail. And we need to work out where to put it. So he sits like that. So we want the tail about there, I think. So we'll just pick him up with that where it is. All right, so what I might do is I might shift it back just a smidge and we'll pin that. Out, pins in his butt. And that's made a nice little triangle which will give a stable base to him when he sits down, which is really good. So we get our little wool needles. I don't want a too big a one because it'll split the chenille. Come on, give me a little one. Here's a little one. Got a little one. No, not a too little one. Alright, so thread this up. Now if you remember from last time, don't put it too far in because what will happen is it'll spread apart the fluff and the yarn will snap and you won't be able to pull it through your stitching. So I'm only going to put that much in. And then we just over sew it in place. So that one and that one. I think I've actually picked up the leather needle, but we've got it on there now. Now, of course, it's going to wrap around every limb as you go, as they do. Take that one out now. We've got one securing it. That tight. So I'm just picking up a little bit from the butt and a little bit from the tail, just to over sew them together. All right, take that one out. Now, if I just leave it at this, it will flap down. I'll show you in a second. And we'll put a surface knot. If you remember what a surface knot is, you just come back through here, and that's just one that sits on the surface. We're not trying to hide it. It's just securing it down. So if I leave that like that, that's going to lie like this. Their tails don't move that much. So we want his little puffy tail to sit here. So we're going to go along here, but I'm going to put my thumb at the back so we're not sewing in the same place as we just did. We're in a little bit. And so we pick up one from here and one from the tail. Make sure it's not around the leg. One from the body and one from the tail, making sure I'm not going too high. One from the body and one from the tail. This is just overcast stitch or over sewing. And I'm only picking up from this side of the tail, and the other side was only from the back side of the tail. And there we go. That is now sewn on. So we'll do another surface knot to attach it to this side. Side to side, tighten it up. And then we'll go wiggle, wiggle, wiggle to hide our ends. And then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle back. And then cut it off. So we've hidden our ends and we've sewn on the tail. So now he sits pretty good. You can't really see him with the camera like this, but I will show him that way. There's his little tail there. Little hump on the back, because pandas do have little curved backs. He does have a little bit of a droopy eye. I might have a look, see what I can do about that. But that is basically him finished for all the body parts. So the next thing I'm just going to do, if you remember last week, like I said, there was a big knot of this. I've sorted that out. But I crocheted this. This is just a chain at the moment, but it was long enough to go around his neck, and these stitch markers are where it meets up at the front. Around his neck and where it meets up at the front. So what I'd like to do with this is I want to make him a collar to wear that is reminiscent of strawberry leaves. And I've got little fairy bells here, which I'm going to put at the end of each point. Why? Because I want to. There's no real reason why. So what I need to do first, I've worked out between these two markers, I have 28 chains. That's including the ones the chain is on. 28 is divisible by 7 4 times. That will give me 4 spikes, two at the front, 2 at the front, and 2 at the back. I think that will be fine. We don't need heaps. So what I worked out, this is my little mud map down here. This is my chain. So I'm going to go along, and every third, I'll do 3, and then I'll chain up 3 and then slip stitch back, and then I'll do 7 up and back, 7 up and back. It'll make sense when I do it, hopefully. Is that a knot? It is a knot. We don't need a knot. That's going to make life difficult. Take that away. Okay, so we're still using the 3.5 because it's here in front of me. So I'll go like this, and now, do I want to go in the back bumps? I could. Yeah, how hard is it going to be to go in the back bumps? Let's just, that's the one it was on, right there. Oh no, we can do the back bumps. Alright, so get our strings organised. Right, I think I got the right one in front. So I am just going to, I think I'll do a single crochet, I think. So we go 1 and 2, 3. That was what I said, 3. And then we want to 1, 2, 3. I'm going to actually do 4 and then come back on the back bumps. I know this is really small and you can't see it. I'm sorry. That one, that one, and that one. Right, so that's giving me my 3 stitches. Did I? Yes, I did that. Yes. That's giving my 3 stitches to hang the other stitches later off. So now we come down here. Now hopefully, if I've worked this out right, I am making this up as I go along, so I could be wrong. We should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now let's just pause. That looks about right. So now we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need the 4th one because we're going to work the back bumps. There's always one more stitch than you need because the back bumps eat 1 stitch. If you ever have to do the back bumps on anything, add 1 stitch. Otherwise your count's going to be all the way out. Alright, so that's our second one. I think that'll work out fine because that'll sit over his shoulder. So now we do another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's very dark over here. I'll bring this a bit closer. That's better. 5. It was 5. Better check. 2, 4, 5. Yes, it is 5. 6 and 7. Right. So now we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn it over. Do the back bumps. 1, 2, and 3. Yep. Right. This should get us to our last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and nearly lost it. 7. Right, and I will do this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn it over. Back bumps. This is slip stitching, if I didn't say that before. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we should have 3 stitches left to get us to the other end. So we shall see. 1, 2 and 3. It's actually 4, but do I want to do that one? Because remember the multiples were 7. I think I will, just to make it right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, before I go any further, because like I said, I'm making this up as I go along, I am going to put a stitch marker in that loop so I don't lose it. There it is. Right. And have a look. So there's our little, let's call them stalks because it's meant to be a leaf. Let's put little friend here. And then we will lay this around his neck. So I didn't want it to be tight. I wanted it to be loose. And if that comes to there and that comes to there. So it was meant to be tying where those are. And there's our little spikes to lay out around his neck. What I might do, you know what, I think it looks better with one more. And that way that one will hang down the back. And I do have enough, so I might just put, I'll go 2 more stitches and I'll put one in there. It's not really what I planned, but I think it'll look better. So instead of 4, we're having 5, and odd stuff always looks better. So we'll just do, probably helps if I put it on my finger. So we've done 3, 4, 5. Let's just see. I think that would be enough. See, I need enough here to be able to tie it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn it over. Back bumps, slip stitching. 1, 2, and 3. Now, I need to go 2 stitches down. Why is that? Because I need to do a treble or a double crochet American terms. And then what I might do is I might slip stitch into that next one. That way he's really laying flat. Okay. Stand you up. Not sleeping on the job. All right, so there's our, let's call it the stems for the leaves. So we now have to work back. So we're going to turn all this over. Turn all it over. And we've got 1, 2, 3. So that can go in the first one. This is the first slip stitch. We're doing a treble. And then the next slip stitch, we're going to do a, I keep saying treble, I've been doing English crochet. Let's call them double crochet. So this is a half double. And then this last one, we are going to do a single crochet. Now we need to do 1 chain. Now comes the fun bit. Well, kind of fun bit. Can you see this little hook I have? You can barely see the hook on the end. There it is. This is a 1.25 millimeter hook. And what it's for is that it fits, I don't know if you can see that, these fairy bells have a little tiny loop. And that crochet hook fits through that loop. And then we put our thread over that. Now this we need it, hang on, let me get it the right way. There we go. And you just pull that loop through the bell. And then we go back to our other hook and find the right string to pull. There we go. Now that goes into there, we do one chain that locks the bell in place, and then we work back down the stem, first with a single crochet, then with a half double crochet, and then with a full double crochet. Now wiggle that out, and then we need to come, oh, did we go the wrong way? Did we go the wrong way? We did. I went the wrong way. Silly me. I was thinking, why has it got a chunk there? It's got a chunk there because I'm supposed to crochet into it, you idiot. This is me as the idiot. Right. Try that again. Go the right way. The bell's right. I was dreading having to take the bell out. Alright, so go into the right one now. This is why we do the back bumps, because then I have two, you can see them, I got two threads to go under. First we have the single crochet, then we have, come on, get through, there we go, half double crochet, and then we have the normal double crochet, and that should make a triangle on our collar. It does. So then we want to skip 1, 2, and then into the third. Now we should have 1, 2, 3. So we need to go to the next one. So that's 2 slip stitches there because we don't want the collar any bigger. And then we start again. First with a double crochet. 1, going in the right direction this time. And that one. One side will always be harder to do. Come on, you got to do both. There we go. This one is the half double crochet, and then right at the end, making sure we get 2, we do the single crochet. So there's our first little triangle, our first little leaf triangle, and now we're on the next one. So 1 chain, put that down, get ourselves another fairy bell. Now these are just really small bells, and you got to make sure they got, can you hear that? Got to make sure they have clackers in them. I got these and I had to go through them all individually because half of them didn't have clackers. And they're not a bell unless they peal or tinkle. Alright. Pick that up. Pull the thread so it's snugged right down. And then do 1 chain to lock it in. And then we work it back the other way. Single crochet, half double crochet, and then the double normal full double crochet, and then we go 1, 2, and then slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the next one and start again. So now we have 2 little bell collar bits. I think they look nice. And so I'm not going to keep saying all this, so I will just do it. And maybe I'll start talking about what our next, well, what the next project for Saturday Crafts is. If you ever have a project you'd like me to make on Saturday Crafts, just write it in the comments And I will see it, I promise. May not be the first day you write it, but I will see it. Come on, this one doesn't want to get through. Go through. There we go. So this one was the half treble. And then the one right at the top is a single crochet. Okay, so one chain. I think I might have forgot the one chain last time, but it'll be fine. Only we know. Picking up another bell. Right, pull that through. There we go. I have actually crocheted with that hook. Another chain and then back down again. And you'll know which one to go through because it's got like a corner. That's the first one to do the single crochet in. And then the next one. And the last one. Yeah, so as I was saying, if you've got something that you'd like me to show you how to do in the crochet realm, don't get naughty. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just write in the comments and I'll have a go. If I can't do it, I'll find out how to do it because I'd like to know too if there's something I don't know. We're getting a nice little ridge down the middle here, which is very cool. All right, next one. And then there's only one left. And then we weave all the ends in and Mr. Panda, Mr. or Miss? I can't decide whether it's a male or a female. I'm leaning towards it being a male, just by the face. Come on, you can get in there. Is this going up one because it was the first one done? No, this was the slip stitch down, that's right. And that's why it's a little bit tight. All right, chain one. Put them down. Another bell. Pull that out. Pull it through. I recently did an Abigail fairy dress, and put fairy bells on all the points. So I perfected putting these on. You can also use the same technique for putting beads on clothing or toys. It works the same. Just got to find a crochet hook small enough to get through the hole. And buy quality beads if you're doing beads that have good holes in the middle, otherwise it'll be painful trying to do them. You can get a thing called a bead reamer if it's a plastic. I'm not sure about the glass. It might work on glass too. It's like a very fine file and it will fix the hole in the bead. But if you're not careful, it'll also break your bead if it's glass. So just be careful with that. All depends on what you want to do. But yeah, the Abigail dress with the fairy beads was very cute. Hopefully I'll get a picture from the recipient pretty soon, and so I'll be able to share that and show you what it looked like. It came up really well. I did it in glitter yarn, so it's very pretty. Alright, so put that down. This is our last one. Pull that up. And then just... nope, lost it. Try again. I was trying to hold it up high so you could see. There we go. There we go. Find the right string to pull. There we go. So that's our last bell. Chain and then work our way down again. Okay. I was going to talk about our next project. Unless somebody says something otherwise, I'm going to make a donkey. I like donkeys. Donkeys are cool. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. So that's all our bells on. Now, I am going to do another slip stitch. And then a chain. That's just to secure this off. Now, I don't know if I want to put a bell on the end of the collar. Let's put it on him and see what it looks like first. Do we want a bell on the end of the collar? I don't think we need it. I don't think we need it. See, I didn't want the collar too tight. Yeah. Okay. So all we need to do now is to weave the ends in. And I'm going to do that because if I don't do it right now, I'll leave it and then it will never get done. Right, so in and out. Now, you know how to weave, surely. It's the same with fine stuff as it is with the thicker yarns, whether or not. You need to do at least 3 passes. So that's come 1. And what you need to do is you need to split the ply. So you're going between the plies of the thread. You're not going over and under the whole yarn. You want to split the ply like that. And then 1 more. I always try to do 3. I think I got that from Crochet Crowd, because it's just, you know, and change direction. That's what I mean, 3 times. So what did I do? I went up, down, and then up again. Put that down and cut it off close, but not under strain. There we go. So that's that end we did, and you can also just roll it a bit and it hides the end. So that's the end. No little strands coming off it. Now we just got to do the other end, and this end's got 3 ends in it. Okay, what I might do is I might do those ones. No, I'll do this one first, and then I'll do the other ones because I can put them where there's more meat, more crochet to weave through. Itchy eyebrow. Right. So if you run it over the back of your finger, you can weave it in and out the plies, not the whole strand of yarn. You want to go through the plies, right? So that's a few there. Going this way. Pull the knot back. And then, if you can go through the ply of your own piece, that's good too. And that. And we got 1 more after this. Straighten that out every time so you can see that you've pulled it all through. Yep. 1 more. And through that one and that one. Right. Pull that through. Pull that through that way. Yep. not under strain, and cut it off. Roll a bit. How dare you headbutt? Put your legs together. Alright. So that's that in. Now we've got to do these two. Now these are on either side. I might just quickly tie them together because then that makes that a nice spot. Nice securing point. Twist it in. Yep. And again. 1 and 2. I'm going to try and make myself one of those 3-pronged latch hook cord makers soon. I might show you how to work that once I work it out. If you've seen them online, it makes I-cord but with 3 hooks at once, which sounds really interesting. They use latch hooks and mount them on a handle. Now that looks like the back, so we're going to run along there. I try to, with the weaving, I tried to do it along the back. That way, if it, I mean, it's the same colour, so it's not going to be that visible. But, you know, we always try and give a good finish. Now, that's another thing I was going to show you. If you don't have enough end, I think this is playing up, there we go. You can weave with the back end of the needle. Just don't, if it's a sharp needle, don't get yourself. Because you're just going between the plies, you actually don't need a point. You're spreading the plies apart. So if you see that, that's my point here. I'm using the back of the needle because my thread's too short. And pull that out. I think that was 2, but we also tied the knot, so I think 2 would be fine. And also, naughty me, didn't leave enough ends. Alright, that's that one, and there's one more, this one here. I might do this one going down, that way I'm not going to knock the other one apart. That's the back. So we'll go like this. So we're just going lower than the other one, just so I'm not going to knock it out of where I just wove it in. I don't think I will, but it's always wise to be careful. Once again, didn't leave a long enough tail, so we will use the back of the needle. Come on, get through. There we go. And pull it out. Wiggle that to make sure it's going to lay flat. And done. Get rid of all our threads outside. So make sure that's the right way up. And put it on our little dude. Tie it at the front. Now I'm just going to, how am I going to tie it? I might just do a, I was going to say I'd do a knot, but I don't know. I don't want it too tight. I will do a knot because it will be easy enough to get undone. Just do a tie knot. Because I wanted the ends long enough to hang down. Yes. Snug that back in there. Snug that down there. Yep. And yep. There we go. There is our Strawberry Panda. All finished. I'll go with his little bell collar on. And done. He's all finished. I'm quite happy with him. So he can sit up here while I quickly tidy up, and then I can show you what the next project's going to be. Put that up there, put this away, especially the needle, don't want to lose it. You just took a dive bomb. Go there, get your feet together, that'll help. Right. I should put him in view, shouldn't I? Alright, don't need that anymore. Put these all over here so they're out the way. And here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm over 8, I'm allowed. What I thought is that I could make this donkey up, but add in some of the more advanced techniques just to soup him up a little bit so that he's a bit more finished than this. And they're just little things that you can do yourself. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put him over here so you can just see him on the side. By here, this is what was in the kit. Stuffing, tiniest bit of stuffing. A white, a black, and a grey. Lots more grey than there is of those two. A crappy plastic hook, which I've already got rid of. And a plastic needle, which is not terrible. Plastic needles are fine. This one has been done by Birch. But it's just a plain amigurumi kit. It doesn't actually say amigurumi on here, but if we use the right techniques, it will be amigurumi. It looks like how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a tail. So 10 pieces altogether. I think we can do this. So let's get all the bits out. Now, I won't be showing you the pattern too much because that would get me in trouble with copyright. So I won't be doing that. And where is it? There's the needle. So we'll get the box out the way. I'm going to show you the back of the pattern because the pattern's only 1 page, but they are quite good giving you a stitch diagram on how to hold the needle, how to hold the yarn in your hand, how to do a slip knot, all the stitches that you might need. And then it's also giving you, hopefully you can see them, that little symbol there, that's the beginnings of learning how to do diagram crochet. And if you can learn how to use diagram crochet, it will help you a lot. I don't really want to show you the pattern because I'll get in trouble, but I can show you this bit. So they also give you a little diagram on how to make it up, how to sew it up invisibly. This is mattress stitch. They call it invisible stitch. Yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. They also tell you how to do tufting for the hair and how to do a French knot for the eyes. I'm not actually going to do a French knot. I will use my safety eyes. Get that out the way. So this is the yarn. It's quite a dense ball. It's an acrylic, which is fine. We can use acrylics. Not bad. This is not going to be enough stuffing. I think you might just get maybe all the limbs. See how much it expands if we take it out the bag. Oh, it's expanding a bit. Of course, you're going to push it down for amigurumi. So that little bit has puffed out to that. Yeah, it's close to how much you'd need. I'm just fluffing it out so that we get a better idea of how much we have. Yeah, so that's how big it is fluffed out. I had a... no, I won't put it in a bag. We'll just put it up there. And then there's your 2 blacks. So that's for your hands, feet, and hair, and eyes and nose. And this is just for the nose. The things I'm going to add to it, I have this yarn here, which is called FOMO. And it's all a polyester and acrylic, but it acts like a mohair. And what I'm going to do, if you've ever seen a donkey, they're all shades of grey with some browns. And I didn't have any grey in this, but I do have this brown. Why have we got an end in there? Of course. Oh, did you wake up, did you? Somebody's licking herself. Really lovely. Come on, find me an end. Ah, likes to make a mess. We were all using this quite fine before. But anyway, what I'm going to do, because I don't have a grey one, I'm going to hold this thread with the grey thread, And what I'll do when I'm all finished, I can use a pet brush and fluff it up, and it'll give him a little bit of fur, which will be nice. I also have a white one, because what I'd like to do, I want to put some white along the edges of the ears and on the nose. We make the nose a bit fluffy. And most of the donkeys I've seen also have white near their eyes. I don't know whether I'll do that with felt under the safety eyes. I'll decide that when I get there. It should tell me where the eyes should be situated. I'd have to read ahead and put them in early because they're safety eyes. Sorry, holding it in the wrong place. So it should tell me on the pattern where to do the eyes right at the end, but I need to put them in earlier because they're safety eyes, because we have to put the backs on. Yeah, so I think that'd be good. And we'll also use the slicker brush to fluff up the mohawk and the tail end. So we don't need the white at the moment. We do need the grey. There we go, there's the middle. Let's move all this up out the way. Don't need that, don't need that. Don't need that. So the hook that they had in there looked to me like about a size 4. I'm going to use this one again because it's just a little bit smaller, because we want it to be like an amigurumi. But the next thing is to unravel this, because this is annoying now. Sorry about this. It was all set up to go and now there's a knot. I don't want to cut it because it's the only ball I've got. Pulling, pulling, pulling. Hopefully an end falls out in a minute. It's got to be an end somewhere. Because this stuff sticks to itself, it makes knots easily. It's the halo effect. And there's no end, which means that one of these is the end. Haha, I think I have an end. Come on, untangle. I have an end. There we go. That and like that. Right. All over there out the way. So now we've done that, we can hold them together and start. So the first thing they tell you to do is the head and body. Looks like it's in English terms, which is interesting. Are we making a magic ring? Yes, we are. So we make a magic ring, just like that, and go under that one, over that one. That's how I do a magic ring. You may do it different. And it's, what's a standard to start? 1, 2. Now I'm not going to make the whole thing because that will get me done for copyright too. I think I'll put a stitch marker in the first one. I'm just going to do a little bit so you can see how these two held together is going to look. So that's 2, 3, 4. Come on, go through that one. 4, 5, and 6. It doesn't say to do this in the spiral, but most amigurumi is done in a spiral because then you don't have any joins. So I'm going to assume we work in a spiral, but you know what they say about assume. So go back into here and then do the first stitch of the second row right off the camera so you can't see it. all I did was take the stitch marker out so I could do that. First stitch the second row, put your stitch marker back in. I should be using the other stitch marker, this stitch marker. Put the stitch marker back in. Always put, unless told otherwise, always put your stitch marker for amigurumi under the top 2 V's. That way it's not distorting your stitch. There is actually a hollow there. Alright, pull that out a bit. Oh! So that's the first bit done. So I'll do the increases, 2 in each. 1 and 2. Make sure that end doesn't get caught. Not working over it this time. 2, 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. Last one, 1 and 2. Right. So I'll hold that up on my hand. Hopefully you can see it. I'll pull that out a bit. Can you see? About there. See, it's grey, but it's also got the flecks of brown in it. And like I said, once I get a bit of it done, I can then brush it with the animal slicker brush. It's got little fine wires and curve over. What I might do this week, I will get the body done at least, and then I'll actually show you what the fluffing does, because it looks quite cool. I can do a little bit before I join up. So that's the first couple of rounds done of that. I might do one more round, hey? Excuse me. Burp. Right. So it's 1 in this one. Put our marker back in. This is basic increasing. I don't mind showing you this. This is the same on nearly every pattern. 1 and 2. Actually, what I might do is something I learned a while ago. Before you go too much farther, for your magic ring, especially when you've got fluffy yarn, is to tie a knot. We call this an overhand knot on the starting cord. So that's me going down twice, then I hold it right down the bottom, put my thumbnail on it and pull the excess yarn away. This just gives you a little bit of security. I'll spring it up, hopefully you can see it. You see there's a little knot there, there's a bit of yellow fleck on the knot. And that way your magic circle is not going to come undone on you, at least not easily. It has to go over that big bump to come undone. With amigurumi stitches being so tight, that's sometimes a help. Now, what have we done? We've done the 2. So now we do 1 and then 2 in the next. 2, 1, 2 in the next. 1, 2 in the next. Also, I was going to say, some people don't want to create a channel just to comment on here. If you would like to comment about something that I've done on the lives, I have got a Facebook page in my name, so Yarn Zombie on Facebook, and it has the same profile picture, so you know it's the same person. And I've got another knot. If you'd like to comment there, no, I'm not going to get there on, I have to hide that one at the back. If you want to comment on the Facebook page of something you would like to see on a live or would like me to show, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you refer to, oh, I saw on the live that da 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 da, could you do this? And that way we all know what we're talking about. Now I was just going to show you how I hide that knot. Just lay it over at the back and work over it. So there's 2 in there, so 1, keep it fairly tight. And then 2 in this next one. So what I'm going to do, usually when I have a knot, I try and put the loop over the hook, and that way it gets caught and it doesn't come undone. So that's, this is the 2, because it's got a finish on it too, like so. Oh, everything falls over, of course it does. So that's our little flecky brown. So that's going to be the color of our donkey. It's a grey flecked with brown, dark brown. I think it's going to look nice. This yarn is actually really soft. It's really nice. Okay. Oh, I think I might do one more round. And then I might finish. So if you like what we're doing here, please like, share and subscribe. Subscribe helps. Sharing helps also, because then other people see it. And if you like it, it bumps it up in the YouTube suggestions. So that helps too. 2 and then 2 in this one. So this is 2 singles and then 2 doubles. Once again, I'm not making the whole thing on camera because it is a copyrighted pattern. I will show you the box again in a minute, and you can also get your own one. I got mine from a local shop called The Empty Bobbin. They had other ones there, so if you'd like to make it along with me, that's fine. These lives will be up. I'm not intending taking these down, so if you get one later on, you can at least find it. Now I can't see. 1, 2. There's our double. So this one needs 2, yes. And I might put these into a playlist for Donkey. I have to make another playlist. So if you look through my playlist, there'll be the lives on there. Keep losing where it is. There it is. So this one needs 2. And yeah, so that's what we're doing. 1, 2, 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and the last one. So that's the row. So like I said, I will get the rest of that done this week, and I'll see you on Saturday. This is the kit we're making. So it's called that. It's the Make It brand, Crochet Donkey, and it's produced by Birch. So I will see you next Saturday, and I hope you learned something. I did. Bye.